Hello, and welcome to Ask the EFT Coach. This is your host, Forrest Samnick. I'm a psychotherapist and a certified EFT practitioner coming to you today from a very hot Palm Harbor, Florida with a heat index of over 100 and very sticky. But our question today comes from Anchorage, Alaska, from Tammy. And boy, don't I wish I could change places with you for about a month or so, Tammy. And thank you so much for your question, as it really is a very important topic. Tammy asks, I keep hearing about the importance of clearing core issues, but I can't seem to find any. Do you have any suggestions for me? And yeah, so of course, this is an important topic because it can be difficult to get to those core issues. Let's just talk a minute about what core issues are. And the way I see them is that it is the root of the problem. And just like a weed in the garden, if you don't pull out the root, you're not going to get rid of the weed. So certainly the most effective and efficient way of collapsing toxic emotions, limiting beliefs, and patterns of behaviors that aren't working for us anymore is by finding the root problem and taking the core problem and taking it out by its root. The other concept I want to talk about before we go any further is because it really plays very uniquely with core issues, is this concept of the writing on the wall. That Gary Craig talks about the writing on the wall in all of his videos. But for those of you who are not familiar, the writing on the walls is our operating system. And the way I explain it is that it is the canvas that we are born with, on which we can create our masterpiece of life. The unfortunate thing, though, is that there's all kinds of other people that come and write all over our walls. And actually, necessarily so. So much of the writing on the walls are hugely important. Like, look both ways before you cross the street, or 2 and 2 is 4. The unfortunate thing is that there's a lot that's written on our walls that's other people's stuff. You know, beliefs that they needed perhaps for survival that no longer serve us, but we adopted as our own. All kinds of people can write on our walls. Our parents certainly do, and our siblings, teachers, coaches, our religious figures, and even our culture and society write on our walls. One of the things that becomes hugely important, Tammy, when we're looking for core issues is to examine the writing on the walls. And we can do that by really becoming curious about where these thoughts and beliefs and behaviors and emotions come from. For instance, I just had a client who came to me because he said he's just angry all the time and just annoyed at people. And he said he especially gets annoyed at incompetence. And so my question to him was, who made you feel incompetent? And sure enough, it turns out that he, at a very young age, was sent off to military school. And so you can imagine, he's now 60 years old, that there was a lot of criticism as to how he was doing things. And he said that people used to just yell in his face all the time, telling him all the things that he was incompetent at. And so once we were able to go back and find out who wrote on that wall about incompetence and collapse it, he now sees that he was projecting his own feelings of incompetence out to the world and other people that he came in contact with. So certainly examining the writing on the wall and becoming curious about how we are today and what was written on our walls can help us discover those core issues. Number two is what something else that Gary Craig talks about, and that's the personal peace procedure. And that's writing a list of all the experiences that we've had in our lives that perhaps we wished we hadn't had to go through. And some of them may have hold some real emotional intensity for us. So if we write all those memories down that we wish we really didn't have, remembering that EFT does not take away our memories, just the emotional intensity to them, and then choose one every day that we can tap on until it no longer either sounds true or feels true to us or no longer holds emotional intensity. That's another way of getting to some of these root or core issues. And number three is that we all have blind spots. And when there have been times where I haven't been able to figure out the root to my problems, I sought out other certified EFT practitioners to help me, because an objective observer can take the meta view and can kind of look above where we are. You know, we're right in the middle of the forest and we can't see the forest for the trees, no pun intended. They can actually see where we are and be able to guide us to where we need to go to find our core issues. So I hope that was helpful for you, Tammy, and for all of the rest of you that are listening in. That's it from me today. Oh, nope, almost forgot. If you want to ask a question of the EFT coach, all you have to do is log on to my website, www.lifeworkswitheft.com, and shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to answer your question and on this format, and so that you can help everybody else who is struggling with that very same question. So until then, I wish you a happy day and tap on.